So, there's this fascinating discovery about how fat cells are made, or rather, how their production can be slowed down by flipping an epigenetic switch.
Yeah,
It's pretty exciting stuff.
right. So this research done with mouse models shows that a protein called PPAR gamma, which usually drives cells to become fat cells, can have its instructions blocked by a specific epigenetic mechanism, correct?
Exactly, it's like, imagine PPAR gamma as the conductor of an orchestra that tells cells to play the fat cell symphony. But then, there's this switch controlled by proteins YAP and TAZ, components of the Hippo pathway, that essentially mute those signals. Fascinating, right?
Mm-hmm. Totally fascinating. And it's interesting because YAP and TAZ are well known for their role in the Hippo pathway, which overall determines cell fate and organ size. So they're kind of like the brakes, right?
Right, yeah. The pathway usually puts the brakes on YAP and TAZ activity, but when the brakes are off, these proteins can actually override the fat-making instructions and keep the cell from fully committing to being, you know, a fat
Yeah.
cell.
But here's what puzzles me. If the brakes are off and fat cells start reprogramming, doesn't that mean the cells revert to a more primitive state? Isn't that, a bit risky?
Well, not exactly fully reverting back to stem cells, but they lose many of their fat-specific features and look more like precursor cells. In a
Right.
way, it's like putting a pause on a transformation rather than rewinding completely.
I see. So it's a sort of control mechanism. And does this suggest potential avenues for tackling obesity and type 2 diabetes by directly addressing fat cell production?
Absolutely. They mentioned that understanding how PPAR gamma nudges cells to become fat cells and how YAP and TAZ can intervene lays groundwork for new treatments.
Yep,
It's a pretty novel angle that goes beyond just traditional gene regulation.
that makes sense. But I wonder, are there any potential downsides or risks if we were to try to trigger this switch therapeutically in humans?
Good point. There's always a risk, right? Because epigenetic modifications can have uh, unintended consequences elsewhere. You know, it's like trying to fix one part of an engine without messing up overall
Yeah,
performance. Plus, these studies are still in mice, so we need more research to establish safety.
true. And while the idea of reprogramming, or at least halting fat cell differentiation, is groundbreaking, it's crucial not to oversell it before confirming in human models.
Exactly. The researchers themselves point out that it's a foundation for a more sophisticated understanding of adipocyte identity changes, paving the way for personalized treatment strategies in metabolic diseases.
Yep.
It's a big leap forward, but cautious optimism is definitely warranted.
So, in summary, we're looking at an epigenetic switch involving the Hippo pathway and its YAP/TAZ proteins that can effectively slow down the production of fat cells, with huge implications for conditions like obesity and diabetes.
Right, and it's like opening up the engine compartment of cell biology, giving us a detailed look at how to maybe, one day, fine tune metabolic health. It's all about
Mhm.
targeted intervention, which is really promising.
Well, this is definitely a topic to keep an eye on as it evolves. The potential here is enormous, though much more work is needed.
Absolutely brilliant work, and as always, exciting times in science and medicine.
Yep.
Looking forward to what comes next.